ELI5 How does concrete asphalt heat up to insane temperatures that are way above the actual air temperature? This is literally 6th grade curriculum that is repeated several times throughout grade school. Think, what are the 3 methods heat can be transferred? 1. Conduction. 2. Convection. 3. Radiation. The air heats via convection. The sun heats via radiation with UV rays, which takes it well past the temperature of the air. It's not a closed system, so it doesn't matter if the air is cool or it's being heated faster than the air can cool it. Asphalt is an insulator in this context, so this delta in temp can persist easily. The sun doesn't heat the air, it heats the ground. The concrete asphalt is getting heated by the sun, and that, in turn, heats the air around it. That's why being in sunlight feels warmer than shade. The sunlight itself is heating you, even though the air around you is the same temperature in both cases. When heat from the ground enters the air, it rises away, allowing the cool air from elsewhere to take its place, and the air heats much more evenly than the ground, and therefore doesn't get heated as much. The concrete and the air are both being warmed by radiation from the sun. When sun radiation hits a solid dark object like asphalt, the light is absorbed by the surface and converted into heat. Heat is just how fast an object's atoms are wiggling. The incoming light knocks into them and they wiggle more. Air, being transparent, lets a lot of this radiation pass through rather than absorbing it and converting it to heat. So the air doesn't warm up as much. There are 3 methods of heat transfer: conduction, convection and radiation. Conduction means something hot touching the pavement and getting it hot, so that doesn't happen with pavement. Convection is the hot air moving across the pavement warming it up, and that's why pavement is still pretty warm in the shade. Radiation is the biggest factor here, where the direct sunlight transfers to the pavement and gets it much hotter. Asphalt is really good at absorbing energy from the sun, and therefore really bad at reflecting that energy. Also, asphalt is only pretty good at radiating its heat energy away, so it can't get rid of heat easily. The combination of great absorber, fair emitter means that asphalt can get pretty hot in sunlight. Air is mostly transparent to infrared heat light from the sun. Asphalt is highly absorbent of it. Absorbing the energy from the light increases the temperature of the material. It also re-radiates it after absorbing it, which is why you feel heat coming off it even if you're not touching it. The sun adds to the heat, convection of rays that radiant. Distance square of the intensity, warming. Because convection to the air and radiant sun. Warming therefore continuously in the air cooler. Plus, emissivity white to the dark colors efficiency. More heat. Dark materials absorb more light and therefore heat than lighter materials, so dark concrete or tarmac suck up a ton of heat from the sun. It's one of the reasons that old wood buildings seem to stay so much cooler in the summer than modern concrete buildings. Heat can only transfer to the surrounding air so quickly, and on really hot days the sun just outpaces it. Concrete can store a lot of heat, and it gets hot from the sun faster than the air around it can wick the heat away. The ground surface is heated by the sun rather than by the air. In fact, the air is heated primarily by the ground rather than by the sun itself. In the absence of air, the ground would actually be considerably hotter. Are you thinking the asphalt is hot because the air is hot? It's actually the opposite. The air is hot because the asphalt is hot. In fact, a chunk of asphalt in space orbiting the Earth would still get very hot. I figure it's a function of density. Air is not dense, allowing light to pass through, bending it ever so slightly. Concrete is super dense and stops all of the light. That translates into the heat. Lots of great explanations above, but also, it's not just asphalt. Plenty of other things get hotter than air, like basically anything metallic. Enough to burn you. Even things like sand,